This is just a follow-up video on a video I made a couple years ago about brakes clunking after a brake job. I'm going to link the video down in the description for those that haven't seen it. But basically what happens is the new brake pad ears are too short to fit in the bracket properly. So every time you go from drive to reverse or vice versa, you'll hear a clunk noise every time you tap on the brakes. And the reason I'm thinking about this again is that I recently did a brake job on a Mercedes CLA 250 and the same problem occurred as the one on my GTI, and I noticed they're both kind of the same brake system by TRW. They don't have shims that attach to the bracket. The shims are kind of integrated into the brake pad, but this doesn't really do a good job of holding the pad in place. And a few people are asking if it's dangerous. It's not really dangerous, it's more of an annoyance. So if it happens to you, you can kind of wait it out and hope the brake dust that the pads produce fill in those gaps and quiet the pad down. So I was reading online and it seems like a lot of the experienced guys don't even bother lubing the pad ears or the backs of the pad or the piston. And they claim the reason for this is all that lube does is attract dirt and grime, and actually could have the opposite effect where it would cause your pad to seize up. My thinking is because I live in the Rust Belt, it's kind of tough to keep raw metal from corroding, and that corrosion can really cause issues with brakes wearing unevenly or seizing altogether. So out of habit, I've always lubed all the contact points on the brake pad. So what I'm gonna do now is start just lubing the slider pins and leaving the pad themselves dry and just making sure everything's clean, and we'll see how that goes because the salt trucks really put heavy salt on our roads every winter, and it does tend to cake up in the wheel wells and inside the brake system. Comment down below if you have experience with this. If you live in the Rust Belt and you don't lube the pad ears, I'm very curious to see if this would solve the issue because it'd be harder for the pad to slide up and down in the bracket. So hopefully this is the solution. I'll report back after I've done this a few times and I've observed the results. Just please comment down below if you have anything to chime in with. Thanks for watching.